Welcome to Stoic Spirit, where ancient wisdom meets modern life. Today's video is for anyone who has ever felt like they're too dependent on their partner's love. Or maybe you found yourself constantly seeking validation from them, only to feel empty when it doesn't come. Have you ever worried about what would happen if they left? Would you be able to handle it? If any of this sounds familiar, you're not alone. Many of us struggle with these feelings at some point in our lives. But what if I told you there's a way to love deeply, passionately, and freely without losing yourself in the process? Today, we're diving into the timeless philosophy of Stoicism to uncover how you can cultivate a healthier, more independent approach to love, one that strengthens your relationships while keeping your inner peace intact. Whether you're single, dating, or married, this video will equip you with practical tools to transform the way you think about love. But here's the catch. This isn't just another self-help talk. By the end of this video, you'll walk away with a powerful message that could completely shift your perspective on relationships. So stick around till the end, because trust me, you won't want to miss it. And hey, if you resonate with anything we discussed today, drop a comment below. I'd love to hear your thoughts. Your insights might inspire someone else watching this video right now. And if you're new here and enjoying this content, don't forget to hit that subscribe button and join our growing community at Stoic Spirit. Together, let's explore how ancient wisdom can help us live better, more meaningful lives. Now, let's get started. 1. Core concept: loving without dependency. One of the key teachings of Stoicism is this: you cannot control others, but you can control how you respond to them. When applied to love, this means that your happiness shouldn't depend entirely on your partner's actions or feelings toward you. Think about it. If your sense of self-worth is tied to whether your partner loves you back, then you're essentially giving away your power. Instead, Stoicism encourages us to focus on what we can control: our own thoughts, emotions, and behaviors. By doing so, we create a foundation of inner strength that allows us to love freely and authentically. Example 1. Fear of loss. Let's say you're afraid your partner might leave you. This fear can consume you, making you clingy, overly anxious, or even manipulative in an attempt to keep them close. But here's the Stoic perspective. What's the worst that could happen? Yes, losing someone you love would hurt, but would it destroy you? Only if you let it. As Marcus Aurelius wisely said, you have power over your mind, not outside events. The pain of loss is inevitable, but suffering is optional. By focusing on your inner strength, you can prepare yourself for any outcome without letting fear dictate your life. Practical method: journaling your fears. To apply this principle, try journaling your fears. Write down what specifically worries you about your relationship. For example, what if they stop loving me? Then ask yourself, is this within my control? If it's not, and it rarely is, shift your focus to what you can control. For instance, instead of obsessing over their feelings, focus on being the best version of yourself. Ask, how can I show up as a loving, supportive partner today? This simple practice helps redirect your energy from fear to action. Example 2. Seeking validation. Now imagine you constantly seek validation from your partner, needing reassurance that they care about you or find you attractive. While occasional affirmation is normal, relying on it too much can lead to emotional dependency. Here's where Stoicism steps in. Remember that external validation is fleeting. True confidence comes from within. Seneca once wrote, "He who needs riches least is richest." In other words, the less you need approval from others, the more secure you become. Practical method: building self-worth. To build self-worth independently of your partner, start by celebrating small wins every day. Did you complete a task at work? Great. Did you make time for self-care? Amazing. Keep a daily gratitude list where you acknowledge your strengths and accomplishments. Over time, this habit will reduce your reliance on external validation and help you approach relationships from a place of abundance rather than scarcity. Example 3. Dealing with rejection. Rejection is another area where Stoicism shines. Whether it's a breakup or feeling unappreciated, rejection often triggers feelings of inadequacy. But Epictetus reminds us, it's not what happens to you, but how you react to it that matters. Instead of viewing rejection as a reflection of your worth, see it as an opportunity to grow. Maybe the relationship wasn't right for you, or maybe it's a chance to reflect on areas where you can improve. Practical method: reframing rejection. When faced with rejection, try reframing it. Ask yourself, what lesson can I learn from this experience? Perhaps it taught you the importance of setting boundaries or recognizing unhealthy patterns. Use rejection as fuel for personal growth rather than a reason to doubt yourself. This mindset shift transforms pain into progress. 2. Practical application: building emotional independence. Step 1. Focus on self-love first. Before you can truly love someone else, you need to love yourself. This doesn't mean being selfish. It means taking care of your mental, emotional, and physical well-being so you don't rely on your partner to fill those gaps. Think about it. If you're constantly seeking love or validation from others, you're setting yourself up for disappointment because no one can fully meet all your needs except you. By prioritizing self-love, you become a whole person who enters relationships not out of need, but out of choice. When you're emotionally independent, you bring your best self to the relationship, creating a healthier dynamic where both partners feel secure and valued. Practical tip: start each day with gratitude. Not just for external things like your job or home, but for yourself. Write down 3 things you appreciate about yourself. For example, I'm grateful for my ability to listen, or I'm proud of how hard I worked today. Over time, this practice will boost your confidence and reduce dependency on external validation. Another powerful exercise is affirmations. Repeat phrases like, "I am enough," or "I deserve love and respect" every morning. These small habits build a strong foundation of self-worth that radiates into your relationships. Why it works: gratitude and affirmations work because they shift your focus from what's lacking in your life to what's already abundant. Instead of dwelling on perceived flaws or insecurities, you train your mind to recognize your strengths and achievements. This positive reinforcement helps you develop resilience against external criticism or rejection. For instance, if your partner has a bad day and snaps at you, your self-worth won't crumble because you've already cultivated a sense of inner stability. Real-life example. Take Lisa, for instance. She used to feel insecure whenever her partner spent time with friends, fearing he might find someone better. But after practicing daily gratitude and affirmations, she began to see herself as worthy of love regardless of his actions. Her newfound self-assurance transformed their relationship. They grew closer because she stopped projecting her fears onto him. Additionally, Lisa started pursuing hobbies like painting and yoga, which gave her a sense of fulfillment outside the relationship. As a result, she no longer felt the need to cling to her partner for happiness. Step 2. Practice detachment without disengagement. Detachment doesn't mean indifference. It means loving someone without clinging to them. Imagine holding sand in your hand. The tighter you grip, the more sand slips through your fingers. Similarly, the less you try to control your partner, the stronger your connection becomes. When we let go of the need to micromanage or possess, we allow space for trust and freedom to flourish. True intimacy arises when both partners feel safe to be themselves without fear of judgment or suffocation. Real-life example. Sarah noticed she was always checking her boyfriend's phone because she feared he was talking to someone else. After learning about Stoicism, she realized her insecurities stemmed from her own fears, not his actions. Instead of snooping, she started journaling her thoughts and reflecting on why she felt the need to control the situation. Over time, this practice helped her trust him and herself more. Their relationship improved dramatically because she stopped suffocating it with unnecessary suspicion. Sarah also began focusing on her personal growth, which made her more confident and less preoccupied with her partner's behavior. Practical method. To practice detachment, focus on what's within your control. If you catch yourself obsessing over your partner's behavior, pause and ask, is this something I can change? If not, redirect your energy towards something productive, like pursuing a hobby or working on personal goals. Remember, healthy relationships thrive when both partners feel free to be themselves. A great way to reinforce this mindset is through mindfulness meditation. Spend 5 to 10 minutes each day sitting quietly, observing your thoughts without judgment. This practice helps you stay present and reduces the urge to overthink or control situations. Why it works. Mindfulness meditation teaches you to observe your emotions without reacting impulsively. For example, if your partner forgets an important date, instead of immediately assuming they don't care, you can pause and consider alternative explanations. Maybe they've been overwhelmed at work. By detaching emotionally, you avoid jumping to conclusions and give yourself the space to respond calmly and rationally. Step 3. Encourage mutual growth. A healthy relationship is one where both partners grow together. Support your partner's dreams and passions, just as you pursue your own. This creates a dynamic where neither person feels stifled or neglected. In fact, encouraging mutual growth strengthens the bond between you two because you're both evolving into better versions of yourselves. Relationships are like gardens. They require nurturing, patience, and effort to thrive. When both partners contribute to each other's growth, the relationship blossoms naturally. Historical insight. Seneca once wrote, "Wherever there is a human being, there is an opportunity for kindness." Apply this mindset to your relationship. Celebrate your partner's successes, even if they're different from yours. For example, if your partner achieves a milestone at work, show genuine excitement. If they express interest in a new hobby, encourage them to explore it. This fosters mutual respect and admiration. Kindness doesn't have to be grand gestures. It can be as simple as cooking their favorite meal or leaving a heartfelt note for them to find. Practical method. To foster mutual growth, schedule regular check-ins with your partner. Use these moments to discuss your individual goals and how you can support each other. For instance, if your partner wants to start exercising regularly, offer to join them for workouts or cheer them on from the sidelines. Likewise, share your aspirations and invite their encouragement. By nurturing each other's growth, you create a partnership based on teamwork rather than competition. Another effective strategy is creating shared goals. Whether it's saving for a vacation, learning a new skill together, or volunteering for a cause you both care about, shared experiences deepen your connection. Real-life example. Consider Mark and Emily. Mark loved painting, while Emily was passionate about writing. Initially, they struggled to understand each other's interests, but once they embraced the idea of mutual growth, everything changed. Mark set up a small art studio in their home, and Emily dedicated a quiet corner to her writing desk. They celebrated each other's achievements, whether it was finishing a novel draft or completing a painting, and their relationship blossomed as a result. What's more, they began collaborating creatively, combining Mark's illustrations with Emily's stories to create a children's book. This project brought them even closer and gave them a shared sense of accomplishment. Why it works. When you support your partner's growth, you signal that you value them as an individual, not just as a romantic partner. This builds trust and deepens emotional intimacy. Moreover, by growing together, you ensure that your relationship remains dynamic and fulfilling. Life is full of changes, and couples who adapt and evolve together are more likely to stay connected over time. 3. Addressing common challenges. Challenge 1. Isn't detachment cold? Some people worry that practicing detachment makes them seem unemotional or distant. They fear it might come across as indifference, which could harm the relationship. But let me clarify something important. Stoicism isn't about suppressing feelings, it's about managing them wisely. You can still express love and affection while maintaining your inner balance. In fact, true emotional independence allows you to show up more fully in your relationships because you're not driven by fear, insecurity, or neediness. Why it works. Detachment doesn't mean shutting down your emotions. It means responding to situations with clarity rather than reactivity. For example, if your partner is upset, instead of immediately jumping into fix-it mode or becoming defensive, you can pause, listen, and respond thoughtfully. This approach shows empathy without losing your own center. As Marcus Aurelius said, the best revenge is not to be like your enemy. In this case, the enemy is emotional chaos. By staying calm and composed, you model strength and maturity. Practical method. To avoid coming across as cold, Practice active listening combined with thoughtful responses. When your partner shares something difficult, resist the urge to interrupt or offer solutions right away. Instead, say things like, "I hear you," or "That sounds really tough, I'm here for you." Then, after they've expressed themselves fully, ask how you can support them. This demonstrates both emotional presence and self-control, striking a perfect balance between warmth and wisdom. Real-life example. Take James, for instance. He used to get defensive whenever his wife criticized him, often escalating arguments unnecessarily. After embracing Stoic principles, he learned to detach emotionally during disagreements. Instead of reacting impulsively, he'd take a deep breath and say, "I understand why you feel that way. Let's talk about how we can move forward together." His wife noticed the change almost immediately. They began resolving conflicts faster and with less resentment. Far from being cold, James became a pillar of stability in their relationship. Challenge 2. What if my partner doesn't understand? Not everyone will immediately grasp the concept of Stoic love. Some partners might misinterpret your newfound emotional independence as aloofness or disinterest. That's okay. It's natural for people to feel uncertain when dynamics shift. The key is to lead by example. Show them how your changes benefit the relationship, and they may even be inspired to adopt similar practices. Why it works. People are more likely to embrace change when they see tangible results. If your partner notices that you're calmer, more supportive, and less reactive, they'll naturally gravitate toward those qualities. Over time, your actions will speak louder than words, creating a ripple effect that encourages mutual growth. Remember, relationships are a two-way street. You don't need to wait for permission to improve yourself. Practical method. To help your partner understand, communicate openly but non-confrontationally. For example, you could say, "I've been working on managing my emotions better, so I can show up more fully for us. It's helping me feel happier and more grounded, and I hope it benefits our relationship too." Frame it as a personal journey rather than a critique of their behavior. Additionally, celebrate small wins together. If your partner notices improvements in communication or conflict resolution, acknowledge it and express gratitude. Positive reinforcement goes a long way in building trust and cooperation. Real-life example. Consider Rachel and David. Rachel started applying Stoic principles to her life, focusing on self-love and emotional regulation. At first, David felt confused. He wondered if she was pulling away emotionally. But over time, he noticed subtle yet significant changes. Rachel no longer panicked when he worked late, and she handled disagreements with remarkable calmness. Intrigued, David asked her what had changed. She explained her philosophy and shared resources like books and videos on Stoicism. Inspired, David decided to join her on the journey. Together, they transformed their relationship into one of mutual respect and understanding. Challenge 3. How do I handle rejection without taking it personally? One of the hardest parts of any relationship is dealing with rejection, whether it's minor, like a partner declining plans, or major, like ending the relationship. Many people struggle with taking rejection personally, interpreting it as a reflection of their worth. But Stoicism teaches us that rejection is rarely about us. It's often about the other person's circumstances, preferences, or limitations. Why it works. Epictetus famously said, "It's not what happens to you, but how you react to it that matters." When faced with rejection, remind yourself that it's an external event beyond your control. Your power lies in choosing how to interpret and respond to it. By reframing rejection as feedback rather than failure, you free yourself from unnecessary suffering. Practical method. When rejected, use the 3 questions technique. Is this within my control? If not, release attachment. What can I learn from this situation? Focus on growth. How can I respond constructively? Choose action over reaction. For example, if your partner declines a date night because they're stressed at work, instead of feeling hurt, you could offer support. "I understand you're swamped. Let me know if there's anything I can do to help." This response transforms potential rejection into an opportunity for connection. Real-life example. Michael once struggled with feelings of inadequacy when his girlfriend turned down his marriage proposal. Initially devastated, he spiraled into self-doubt. However, after reflecting through a Stoic lens, he realized her decision wasn't a verdict on his worth. It stemmed from her desire to focus on her career first. Rather than pushing back, Michael respected her choice and continued nurturing their friendship. A year later, she proposed to him, citing his patience and understanding as reasons she knew he was the one. By handling rejection gracefully, Michael preserved and ultimately strengthened their bond. Challenge 4. Can Stoicism help with communication breakdowns? Communication breakdowns are inevitable in any relationship, especially during high-stress moments. Misunderstandings, assumptions, and unspoken expectations can create tension. Stoicism offers a framework for navigating these challenges with grace and clarity. Why it works. By focusing on what you can control, your tone, word choice, and timing, you reduce the likelihood of escalating conflicts. Seneca advised, "We suffer more often in imagination than in reality." Before reacting impulsively, ask yourself, is this worth arguing about? Will it matter tomorrow? Often the answer is no. Practical method. Use the pause and reflect technique. Whenever you feel triggered, count to 10 before responding. During this pause, consider whether your words will contribute to resolution or escalation. Another helpful strategy is using I statements instead of you statements. For example, instead of saying, "You never listen to me," try, "I feel unheard when we don't discuss things openly." This shifts the conversation from blame to collaboration. Real-life example. Amy and Tom frequently argued about finances until Amy adopted Stoic communication techniques. Instead of accusing Tom of overspending, she calmly expressed her concerns. "I'm worried about our budget, and I'd love to brainstorm ways we can save together." Her approach diffused the tension, allowing them to work as a team rather than adversaries. Over time, their financial discussions became productive conversations rather than heated debates. By addressing these common challenges, detachment, misunderstanding, rejection, and communication breakdowns, you can apply Stoic principles effectively in your relationships. These strategies empower you to navigate difficulties with resilience and wisdom, fostering deeper connections and greater harmony. Stay tuned for the conclusion, where we'll recap the key takeaways and leave you with a powerful final message. To recap, Stoic Love teaches us to cherish our partners without becoming emotionally dependent on them. By focusing on self-love, practicing detachment, and encouraging mutual growth, you can build a relationship that's both fulfilling and resilient. These principles remind us that true happiness comes from within, not from external validation or control. When you nurture your own emotional independence, you bring your best self to the relationship and create space for a deeper, more authentic connection. Seneca's words are a powerful reminder that clinging to someone out of fear only pushes them away. Love isn't about possession, it's about partnership. It's about showing up fully, with openness and trust, while maintaining your inner strength. When you let go of the need to control, you allow love to flourish naturally. If this video resonated with you, please give it a thumbs up. It means the world to us and helps others discover these ideas too. If you know someone who could benefit from learning about Stoic Love, share this video with them. And don't forget to subscribe to Stoic Spirit for more insights on how ancient wisdom can transform modern life. I'd also love to hear from you. How do you practice emotional independence in your relationships? What challenges have you faced, and how have you overcome them? Leave a comment below and let's start a conversation. Together we can grow stronger, wiser, and more connected, one step at a time.